Hola estudiantes, ¿cómo estás? Yo estoy muy bien. So I wanted to do a quick video with you about 9.2 Instruction 1. We're going to be having our chapter test during this middle module here, and I wanted to take a few minutes and do some of the chapter test prep with you. So I'm going to actually move over to the module and we're going to work through what you're going to be doing to get ready for the exam. The first activity is 9.2 Assign 1. This is the booklet to review all of our vocab from Unit 1, Lesson 2, because all those words will be appearing on the exam in some way, so we want to make sure you're really good with your vocabulary. Once you work through that booklet and submit that, the next thing you're going to move on to is a practice for the exam. And it says here, complete these activities to prepare for the exam. If you need to copy and paste the accents, here they are. And since this is some exam prep, you'll be able to see the correct answers as soon as you submit the test. You can get that immediate feedback. So let's take a look at what you're going to see as you work through here. First off, there's some listening practice. It says listen to Carlos describe himself and his teacher. Then complete the activity by marking true or false for the questions. So that'll give you some practice for listening because we'll have listening on our exam. All right, from there, it's going to come down here and there's a picture you'll see. It says identify the people in the drawing by writing a complete sentence in Spanish. Add in a definite article to start the sentence, an el, la, los or las, and an indefinite article later in the sentence, un, una, unos, or unas. And also you'll have to add in a correct form of ser. And I've given you a couple of models. So, for example, the prompt might say chica pelirroja / estudiante, and from that information we'll look at the chica pelirroja and we're going to form a sentence. So, la chica pelirroja es una estudiante de Panama. All right, so the girl with red hair is a student from Panama. Or it says hombres simpáticos and amigos. All right, so we look at the picture. Los hombres simpáticos son amigos de Uruguay y Argentina. All right, so I'm going to give you something down here that says hombre grande maestro. We'll look over here, the men from Argentina, and say something along the lines of el hombre grande es un maestro de Argentina. All right, so that's going to be some practice with ser and our adjectives and our articles. And then from here it says complete Alejandra's diary entry with the correct form of the word to ensure that the adjective agrees in number and gender with the noun. All right, so this is the diario entry, and again, written by Alejandra. And as you read through here, we've got to decide which form of the adjectives we need. So let's do the first one together. Todos mis amigos son muy, and it says simpático over here. So I have to determine, is it simpático or is it simpática, simpáticos or simpáticas? All right, because there could be one of those four options. So the only way I know is to look back at my noun. Well, my noun is plural and masculine, so I have to make sure that my adjective is also plural and masculine. So I'm going to type in, well, actually what we could do just to make this quicker, let's just copy and paste the word simpático. All right, so there's that basic word, and then I need to add an S onto it to make sure that it agrees in number and gender. All right, and then down here, some more test prep. Julio and Julia are complete opposites. Write sentences describing them based on the descriptions. Follow the model. So the model says Julio es malo, so we need to write the opposite. Julia es buena. And you notice I made a change here because it has to be buena because we're talking about Julia. So let's do the first one together. Julio es viejo. Well, the opposite would be Julia es joven. All right? And then there'll be some questions to practice that. When you finish, go ahead and submit, and that'll give you a chance to get some feedback on how you're doing, okay? So let me go back to where we were here so we can keep moving to the module. All right, once you submit, you'll get some feedback, and the test will show right away. And good luck with that. All right, hasta luego.